Yeah, you know what, Dana, it was a great trip. Having some time to get ready for those two teams did our team really good. After the couple of the heartbreaking losses we suffered in our tournament, I think the kids really refocused, kind of as we talked before we left, and a lot of guys stepped up. There was some really good performances by a lot of guys. This team is certainly a team. They enjoy being around each other. They play well together. We're figuring it out. Big test this week. We've got two opponents that have played some really good people. Central Michigan has played two of the most storied programs in the country with Gonzaga and Kentucky, and some of these other ones, DePaul, Missouri, Xavier. So they're battle tested. So we got to be ready to go. Somebody texted me that day and said, just stay out on the road. It's early, buddy. You know that. We've got to play better inside the Beagley, but it's a small sample size. I fully expect our guys to, practice and play well this week. We've had 2-day prep. We got back Saturday night and took off Sunday, 2 days to get ready for Central, and then another 2 days to get ready for Canisius. So we'll do some things on campus today to promote the game. We'll get out and pass our flyers out. A lot of good promotions. Teddy Bear Toss is always a great event here inside the Beagley Center. There's some giveaways for the students. So we want to continue to build on what we did that first weekend, that Friday night. I think we had over 200-300 students. So I'm hoping they'll come out in full force and we play with some passion. I think great opportunities, Dana, early in the season. You're playing a MAC team. You're playing a team in Canisius that, we haven't had a lot of success with a few years back. And then obviously Westminster, a local team that's off to another great start. But you gotta get some momentum heading into Christmas. I think that's what this is about. We're 2-3 in our non-league so far, with 4 to go. There's 3 parts to a season: non-conference, conference, and postseason. This team's got a chance to keep getting better and better. Our focus has been day to day. It really hasn't been about the opponents. It's been day to day, our prep, a business-like approach, whether it's tape, whether it's through our, rehab. We just got to stay really, really focused. I used a couple of Coach Saban's lines, the rat poison. Not that you guys are give any rat poison. You guys have been really, really fair to us over the 5 years. But you know how it is with young people, Dana. You have a little success. You want to build off that success. You don't want to hide from that, but you just want to keep getting better and stay present, stay focused on the task at hand. And that's really starting tomorrow night. We had to change a lot what we were doing. It was a difficult deal, but, as a coach, sometimes you got to be able to make those adjustments offensively and defensively. It's been a challenge, I think, for our coaching staff, but I think I give our staff a lot of credit. They stepped up, and we haven't made excuses. When you lose one of the, I think maybe could have been the defensive player of the year this year, definitely an all-league type of player. You got to adjust. You got to adapt. Garrett's been awesome. He went on the trip with us and used his voice. He's really, really a smart player. So he helps me. I told him, whatever you see, him and Grayson Kelly, both those guys would be great coaches. I know Grayson does want to coach. I don't think G does. But those guys, even on the bench, man, with their demeanor, Garrett was sitting right behind our huddle, chiming in the entire time. But I give our staff and I give our players a lot of credit. Defensively, we really locked in there Saturday at Green Bay, and that led to some good offense. We're still not where we need to be in transition. I'd like to play a little faster, score the ball more in transition. So try to put emphasis on that this week, and we'll see if we can get some results. But our points per possession was awesome. We executed the game plan. We went into a pretty good environment. That was the first time we've ever played there at the Crest Center. Beautiful building. I was amazed how nice it was. And our plan was good, and the guys executed it, and they only scored 58 points. So right now our defense is getting better. It's improving. I think it starts with our defense, and then offensively, we've really put emphasis on driving the ball. If we're open, we want to shoot threes, but the mid-range shot is not a high percentage shot. So we've limited some of our mid-range shooting, and I think that's helped us offensively.
Coach, I know you've got home games, but do you realize it's been over 20 years since this program's won 3 straight road games?
No. Dana, somebody who was Rob Schmidt. I didn't even see you back there. After our game, we got on the bus, and he said, "This is the first time we've ever swept in Wisconsin." And I'm like just totally shocked by that. We were 2-22 at Green Bay. So did not know that, Dana. That's a really good stat. Any other stats you guys come up with are good for us because we like to, kind of use those as things within our program. But I did not know that, and that's an interesting one. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, we'll give Trev the credit for that one. They changed their defenses. They're going to play man. They're going to play 2-2-1. They're going to play 2-3. They're going to man you out of bounds. They're going to zone you out of bounds. I think, Tony Barbee is a great coach. He's had success everywhere he's been. They've played 5 high major teams. So if you look at their record, they're really 1-2. I don't look at them as a 1-7 team or whatever they are. They're 1-2. They have 3 like opponents. Let's be honest, most low to mid-major programs are not beating Kentucky, Gonzaga, DePaul, Missouri, and Xavier. So I give them a lot of credit, and I'm sure some of it is financial. We've been through that time and time again here with the bye games. So I'm sure he's a team player. I'm sure he's doing it to help their program, their athletic department. But we're 0-4 against the MAC. We've never beaten the MAC the last 5 years. So we're 0-6. We've been swept by Central and Western. We've been beaten by Kent and Akron. So we've got to come ready to play. I think so, Dana. I think it anymore in scheduling. We've got to play the Pitts, the Ohio States, the Penn States, the Xaviers, the Cincinnatis on the high major level. I think regional matchups to me are really important. Akron, Kent, Bowling Green, certainly the Centrals and Westerns. We've always tried to play them. And we've been so close. I mean, every game with Western, every game with Central. I mean, those are 4 games that went to the wire every single time, some overtime losses in there. But, the MAC's got great tradition. That conference is off to another good start with OU and some of the teams. So I respect the MAC, and I think it's important for matchups with your fan base to be able to relate to. And that's a big reason why we play Westminster, too. I teased Soroki at a clinic back in October, man. Every year they just keep getting better and better. They're getting all these local guys, the Ritters, and I follow those guys. Those kids are great kids, and but the game is because of the fans. They do such a good job on their end promoting it and coming, and our fans enjoy it. So partly with your schedule, it's due to some rivalries and some interest from fans. I don't want to talk about too many adjustments, but I would just say, usually Garrett guards the best players, the other team's best player. That's a big adjustment. We ran a lot of post-ups for Garrett. We can't do that anymore. We ran a lot of curling action for Garrett. We ran a lot of our offense for him, so we're really trying to spread it out a little bit. Tevin Allison and Owen Long were tremendous. Dwayne Cohill was tremendous. Akuche is going to be tremendous all year. We're just trying to find our niche with some of these other guys. But they really all stepped up. You look at Luke Chacon right now as a freshman. He has 14 assists, 1 turnover. That's hard to do. in Division I basketball from a freshman perspective. You know, he's just been remarkable taking care of the ball. Daniel Agoro's really coming to his own off the bench. So the adjustments are with your personnel, you know, getting those guys acclimated to play that position, and then also going big. You know, we're going to have to play Jameer and Mike. We're going to have to play Ja'Cory and Mike. We're going to have to play Will Dunn a lot of minutes. These are all things, honestly, 7 games in, we're still trying to figure out, which is crazy. This has probably been the hardest team to coach, but the best team to coach. I love them. They're good kids. They really get along. Very rarely have to motivate them. You know, sometimes we're a little quiet at practice. I'd like a little more vocal. But, man, they've been fun and enjoyable to be around. But it's still these adjustments with so many new guys and then the injury. We're still a work in progress. And that's why you got to keep guys in the moment. You got to keep getting them better. You know, you went from losing 2 heartbreakers to now really jump-starting your season with 2 road victories inside the conference. Those are hard to come by. So we feel good where we're at, but we're not overconfident. You know, let's not kid ourselves. We got a lot of work to do, and it's a work in progress.